behind the remix DJ Mike Lowry. I'm gonna post this, but I want y'all to see this. See if it's gonna cover up the whole joint. No. See that? For the thumbnail. Shout out Vince Fontaine to just hit me up. But so we got it says 19 years went by, so now, sorry, y'all can't see me. 19 years went by, so now we can make the final decision. Name 3 rappers, music that aged well from this class. Man, see what they tell you, don't have gum in your mouth when you're doing the interview. You got Boosie, you got Lupe Fiasco, you got Rich Boy, you got Saigon, you got Plies, you got Gorilla Zoe, you got Joel Ortiz, Crooked Eye, Papoose, and Dro. What I want to say, oh, you can't even see thought this was in the way. Boosie, you know what I mean? They all actually are still doing their thing in their own right. I bumped into Rich Boy in Atlanta some years ago with my peoples. Lupe, I believe he's teaching a class of some sort. Something like that, I may be wrong, but I heard some dealings of him actually helping the youth. Papoose, we know what Papoose on. Crooked Eye still out here. Joel Ortiz still out here, which they, were in the group together with Royce the 5'9" and Joe Budden, which was it was a sought after group. You can't knock that. Gorilla Zoe, to my understanding, Gorilla Zoe was penning records, writing records. I think for Flow Rider. I might be wrong, but Plies, super popular on social media, which doesn't translate necessarily to money, but they translate it to records working. He had a bunch of viral moments. Saigon, same thing, in and out, in a sense of, I think Saigon has even said this too. It's been the timing for him. It's never been the talent, the pen, the production, none of that. And I don't know what he would say to that, but I don't see none of these guys as failures. Like they fell off per se. I think the thing about this is, and I say this because I think of all of these conversations as information that I would give my students. And at the end of the day, if you look at somebody from a fame perspective, in a sense of seeing them the way that you saw them, then anybody could fall off at any given time. I'm one of those people that I like looking at the moves that they make behind the scenes anyway. All right, so, okay, this is what everybody sees. Now, what are the things that nobody sees? Some of these artists, I look at interviews with them, and these aren't the interviews that get blown up, but they talk about these moments where they had this money and they put the money into this, and like they don't do shows no more because they figured it out doing real estate or whatever else they have going on. And then to the world, it's like, oh, you fell off. No, they actually didn't. They're just not doing things in the light and the fashion that you're used to seeing them. Just because, I tell my students this, just because you're popular and you're famous doesn't mean that your finances match the amount of fame that you have. Just because people are behind the scenes don't mean they ain't making a lot of money. Arguably, I don't know this to be true, but I've done my research throughout the years. Chamillionaire has arguably made more money in tech than he has in music. Now, I'm very big on not speaking the things that I don't know. But what I can say based off of things that I've heard him say out of his own mouth, it's been very lucrative for him on that other side. So, and Chamillionaire was one of them ones that he left. He didn't leave like in bad standings in music. So if you think about that and you say, well, man, to the magnitude of what he put records out back when he was in the industry, people would say, well, he fell off. What, did he really? Right? You just saying, in other words, you don't see them as much as you used to on your TVs or your phones. That's what I think people mean when they say that. shout out to that XXL. The XXL. That's hard. Um, and Dro, come on, man. Dro been on the interviews with Tip. You know what I mean? Holding him down. And Tip always show love to Dro. Dro hard too. Like, so yeah, you know, what's y'all take on that? And what's the first record you heard on any of these artists? I just jumped with a couple of them. Lupe. The first time I heard Lupe was probably Kick Push, but that I remember being in Virginia, and it reminded me of my college days. But I guess it was a couple years after my college days. But I think we was at George Mason. Shout out to E. And we was listening to Lupe. He had a freestyle over the Crucial Conflict, Hey. Because, you know, Lupe rep Chicago. I'm from Milwaukee. Crucial Conflict, Chi-Town. Like, that was hard. And I'm about to go listen to that now. So that was one of the first couple joints I heard from Lupe. Boosie probably set this off. Probably that. That's probably one of the first ones. Crooked Eye. I think I remember hearing Crooked Eye first, actually, with, and I might be wrong here, but I feel like I heard him on something with Murder Inc. or Irv Gotti. I feel like that's the first time I heard him. Like, I don't know if it was on, I ain't even gonna say that, I don't know. But that's where I feel like I heard him first. And Papoose, I said this in another one, but when he did that Menace to Society 2, I think that was the first time. And then when was the first XXL magazine you got? I need to do a episode where I'm talking about these XXL, The Source, and Scratch, because I used to have all of them joints. But let's talk about it in the comments. When's the first time you heard either of all of these artists? And I mean, who your favorite on here? On that XXL? Who you got? All right, let's talk about it. It's Behind the Remix. Make sure you subscribe, share, like, all of that. If you're looking for my behind the scenes while you catch me in the classroom, right now ain't nobody in here, but my kids will be here in a couple minutes. Catch me in the classroom, catch me in the studio cooking up, and all of the behind the scenes. I got a project coming out in the summer. You get the behind the scenes of me locking that in. Let's get it. It's Behind the Remix.